The horse, the last contender you've got in the Derby is Bobby D. That's my pick. I like the breeding by Zed.
Yeah, old horse we used to train here. Yeah, it was a good horse, Zed. Yeah.
And you'd be thinking it'd 100% stay the trip, wouldn't you?
Absolutely sure he'll stay the trip. He was running on well last week. He had a, quite a tough race, 3 wide, just circumstances, but got to the line very well.
If you'd have swapped them, you would have said he had every right to kind of run like Cutterdale, wouldn't you, really?
Yeah, you would have thought he'd be seen out the back, but he kept on well.
What's he like to train?
Yeah, very easy. Very, very quiet horse.
That makes it easy to get them to settle.
No worries at all. He just lobs around, and I think he's a natural star. He's only had the run over 2,000 because we gave him a break after the Auckland Silver race in the middle of December.
Okay.
So we got a little bit behind, but he'll have his chance, and if there's any rain around, that'll help.
Does that concern you with his preparation that he missed a run?
Just a wee bit, but the way he ran on in the Avondale Guineas, you'd say that he's fit enough, and he looks like he'll get the trip, because a lot of horses don't get 2.4, they get 2,000, as you know, but then they start to croak round the bend.
Especially in your own age group too, it's a lot weaker, isn't it?
Yeah.
And have you been happy with him since the Avondale
Yeah,
Guineas?
very happy, yeah. We swam him for a bit, and he was a little bit jarry because that track was very firm the other day, but he seems to have come out of it well. Avondale Guineas is usually the best form. As you know, the format changed. It was always 2 weeks between the Waikato Guineas and the Avondale Guineas, but this year it was only a week between. So it's a bit hard to evaluate it, but the Avondale Guineas is usually form decider for the Derby.
Is the 3 weeks with the Waikato Guineas to the Derby just too much in your mind?
It is a bit much if you've only had the one run over ground, and that's why we chose to run the chosen one, back him up last week.
We've talked about all 3 horses. Can you name them in a 3-2-1 order?
I couldn't really, because they're all different horses, and I would have said Cutterdale going into the Avondale Guineas, but it was such an average run that it's thrown us all.
Yeah.
And we're sort of looking for something but can't find anything. And I mean, I'd hate to think he ran like that again, but who knows?
Who knows? So Bobby D, maybe? He's my pick.
As long as there's one of them, Emily.
Yeah, as long as you get the nose in front, that's all that matters. And can we expect to see them in Australia if they...
Well, if they ran very good races in the Derby, you obviously have to look at it, because I'm a believer that our staying 3-year-olds in decades gone by have always matched up to the Australian horses in the AJC Derby, so why wouldn't you throw the dice? They're only 3 once, and it's a $2 million race, and we have the stayers here.
Take the Australian money.
And we have a lot of, good trainers that can train stayers, so I think if you get a good result in a Derby, you've got to be thinking about the AJC Derby.
Great.
And plus, I hate a trip.
Yeah, I know that. Any excuse.